WNST. And you know of my affinity for all things ponies, and certainly this ladies' hometown of Louisville, Kentucky, where I missed out 2 weeks ago. We went down to Laurel, and my wife put the hat on, and I put the suit on. We'll be doing that similarly this weekend for Preakness 143 out at Old Hilltop. She is a repeat offender here at WNST. She comes by every year, win or lose, and she's always there at the end of the track to meet the winners. We welcome Donna Brothers back on from NBC Sports, where they're going to be doing some action on Friday for the Black Eyed Susan and the Pink Festival, which we love here in Baltimore, and of course on Saturday for the Preakness. And she brings with her those same rain clouds that were stormy on Derby Day. Donna, we're going to get a lot of precipitation in the environment here between now and Saturday, but I don't know if we're going to have anything quite like what we saw 2 weeks ago at Churchill Downs, where we got down to Laurel, I don't know, 1:30. We looked up onto the television and we're like, ugh, we picked a good day to be at Laurel, and it wouldn't have been such a good day to be at Churchill Downs 2 weeks ago.
Well, it was actually a great day to be at Churchill Downs, Nestor. As you know, I was a jockey for 12 years, and so I get that it's an outdoor sport. I come prepared for it. You know, it's not great for the women like your wife who showed up in the beautiful hat and the dresses, but they did have really clear plastic ponchos that women could wear at Derby, so you could still see their outfit. But anyway, it was really a beautiful day. In spite of the rain, at least it wasn't cold, so we all got wet, but we weren't wet and cold. And then given the fact that we didn't have some unrealistic outcome and have a horse that was, 50-1 or greater win the race and leave us all scratching our heads about the results, the fact that Justify won, I think it justified his favoritism going into the race. And all the other horses really kind of showed up except for Mendelssohn, and nobody was terribly surprised by that given the fact that just due to the training he'd had in Europe and other places, he'd never experienced anything like a sloppy racetrack.
Well, for the best horse to win on that day, it's already hard enough. But when the horse wins in that fashion and comes out, and I know there was an issue the day after with a step or whatnot, but comes out of it so well. I mean, Baffert was effusive in his praise, but also reserved because he's been down this road before in having the best horse and not necessarily having it go your way. Certainly the Triple Crown, 20 years ago, and stalking that before American Pharoah. But this is a little bit of a coronation, right? Like, you come to Baltimore completely expecting this horse to win, and I looked up on your Twitter and I saw that you sort of gave a nod to Chad Brown for bringing Good Magic in, because at this point this is probably the one horse we're going to talk about that's going to give Justify a run. But we are going to have some rain here this week, so some conditions are going to change. But Baffert's been so good in this race and just loves everything about coming to Baltimore.
Yeah, well, one of the things Chad said to me before the race was, his horse, Good Magic, had never run over a sloppy racetrack, but he is by Curlin, who, won at Monmouth Park over a super sloppy racetrack when they had Breeders' Cup there. And so he had a reason to believe the horse would handle it, and he did. And I just think it's good sportsmanship, Nestor. That's what it comes down to. It's not like, yay, Chad, so glad you're coming. It's, yay, you got beat by a horse who looks really great, and you're going to take another shot at it. Because how many times do we see, the horses who run second or third right behind the Derby winner, they just skip the Preakness and, wait 5 weeks and try to catch him over at Belmont Park. And I just think it's a really sportsman-like thing to do. And we already know he's going to handle the off-race track. And, I think some of these other horses that are going to run proved in the Derby they handled it well. Bravazzo, he ran a respectable sixth-place finish. Lone Sailor, if you go back and look at his race, he got stopped around the turn, and he closed okay. I don't think Lone Sailor's good enough. He's not going to be in my top three. But, he ran respectably well over a sloppy racetrack. I just think he's a notch below these horses. But, yeah, we're going to end up with a sloppy racetrack again, which is, I guess, why you call me a repeat offender, not just because I'm coming on your show every year, but keep bringing all this rain.
Hey, a little bit of mud on your goggles never bothered you, right?
Absolutely not.
Donna Brothers joins us here. You can follow her out at Donna B. Brothers on Twitter as well as at NBC Sports. She'll be the one stalking down the winner. And, I ask you about this all the time, but I actually made a mistake this week. I got a friend of mine driving his daughter back across the country, and he was asking me for restaurant recommendations. And I'm that guy that travels to all sorts of weird places and has all sorts of weird stories and great eating places. And he was in Louisville the other night, and Lynn's Paradise Cafe is gone, which really kind of bums me out. So I don't have a restaurant recommendation. I'm thinking, who can I call in Louisville? And I guess I should have reached to you, but all of these years of doing this and to be on the back with the winner and be there, there's still such incredible emotion about all that, no matter what the weather and no matter how much mud's on anybody's goggles. But that moment for Kentucky and sending that horse here, I've always wanted for the Preakness to be what the Derby is for the community, that everything stops, there's traffic downtown, people come from everywhere. We had 140,000 people here last year, so this race is not doing poorly, but there's just something about civically the way Louisville embraces that and how special it is to everything about the state of Kentucky that I long for here, Donna.
Well, you have to keep in mind, when you look at the breeds that have won the race, and when I say that, I mean by state, the Kentucky breds have won 110 runnings. The next one under that is Florida, who've won 6 runnings, and after that, it drops down to 4 and precipitously just is to drop down. And so horses and horse racing have been a huge part of the fabric of Kentucky for a very, very, very long time. And so one of the reasons why I think they embrace it so much is because almost everybody in Kentucky has a relative who used to be involved with horse racing to some extent, whether it was standard bred or thoroughbred. And so, I hear these stories all the time. Oh, my grandpa. The NBC podcast.